Imagine this. You wake up one morning like any other day. The sunlight filters through the curtains, you stretch gently, and then something feels different. Just sitting up takes effort. Standing up? That used to be simple. But today, your legs feel like they're made of lead. And when you try to walk, your knees don't cooperate. It's not pain exactly. It's the absence of strength. Something quiet has been slipping away. And the worst part, you didn't even notice it happening. For so many older adults, this moment comes without warning. One day you're active, independent, maybe even going on walks, carrying groceries, tending your garden. And the next you're needing help to get out of a chair, climbing stairs feels like scaling a mountain, and little by little, your independence starts to fade. But this isn't a story about decline. It's a wake-up call and a message of hope. Because what's silently draining your strength might actually be preventable. And even reversible. That's right. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover a simple food, one that's often missing from seniors' diets, that could help rebuild the muscle you've lost and stop further decline before it's too late. So if you or someone you love is over 60 and starting to feel weaker, more tired, or simply not as steady as before, keep listening. Because what I'm about to share isn't just theory. It's backed by real stories, emerging science, and practical solutions that don't require a gym membership, a personal trainer, or a drastic lifestyle change. It just starts with your plate and one overlooked ingredient. Let's take a moment to think about how this problem sneaks up on people. Muscle doesn't vanish overnight. It disappears slowly, almost politely, without making a fuss. You don't wake up one day unable to walk. It's more like a steady retreat. The jar that's harder to open, the arms that tire quicker while folding laundry, the legs that don't push you up quite as easily from the couch. And because it happens gradually, we brush it off. I'm just getting older, we say. But aging isn't supposed to mean losing your power. That's a myth we've been taught. The truth is, our bodies still respond to the right signals, no matter how many candles are on our birthday cake. Now here's the twist that most people don't see coming. This isn't just about getting more exercise. Of course, movement matters. But even the best routine won't help if your body doesn't have the materials it needs to rebuild. It's like trying to repair a house without wood, nails, or bricks. And sadly, many seniors are unknowingly eating in a way that leaves their body starved of the very thing it needs to stay strong. That's why today's topic is so important. Because while most people focus on cutting things out of their diet, less sugar, less fat, less salt, very few are asking, what am I missing? And the answer might surprise you. There's one food in particular that experts are now recognizing as a powerful ally in the fight against muscle loss. Not a supplement, not a trendy shake, but a real, whole food that you may have pushed aside in favor of healthier choices. And yet, when this food is reintroduced in the right way, something remarkable happens. Seniors report feeling stronger, more balanced, more capable of doing the simple things that bring joy. Walking in the garden, playing with grandkids, or just getting out of a chair without using their hands. Before we reveal what that food is, let's take a closer look at what's actually happening inside the body. After the age of 60, our natural muscle-building signals start to fade. It's like the volume gets turned down. So even if we're eating some protein or doing light activity, the body just doesn't hear the message as well as it used to. That's why so many older adults find themselves losing strength even when their habits haven't changed. It's not about what you're doing wrong. It's about what your body needs help with. And the good news is, there's a way to turn that volume back up. You see, certain foods contain special compounds that act like amplifiers. They help your body absorb and use protein more efficiently, reignite your natural repair process, and even reduce the inflammation that blocks recovery. And yes, one of these foods has been shown, time and time again, to outperform fancy pills and powders. In fact, in some studies, it helped older adults rebuild lost muscle faster than those taking supplements alone. But it's not a magical cure or a miracle fix. It's just a reminder of what food can do when we choose it wisely. Now, maybe you're wondering, if it's that powerful, why isn't everyone talking about it? That's a fair question. And the answer's simple. We've been conditioned to believe that aging equals decline, that losing muscle is just part of the deal. So the focus often shifts to treating symptoms, fall prevention, mobility aids, medications, instead of asking how we can prevent the issue in the first place. But what if we flip the script? What if instead of reacting to weakness, we gave our bodies what they need to stay strong from the inside out? That's what this video is all about. Not scaring you, not selling you a magic bullet, but reminding you that strength is still within reach, no matter your age. And in just a moment, we're going to count down the top foods that help fight age-related muscle loss, starting with a few you might already know, and ending with the one most people are missing entirely, the one that could quietly be the key to your strength, your independence, and your confidence. So stay with me, because what you're about to learn could change the way you eat, the way you age, and the way you feel when you wake up in the morning. And if you're still with me right now, I want to say thank you. It means you care about your health. You care about staying active, about staying in control of your life. And that's something to be proud of. If this video resonates with you, or if you know someone who could use a little strength right now, don't hesitate to share it with them. You might be surprised how much of a difference this information can make. And now let's take the first step together towards strength, clarity, and a better tomorrow. It starts with a food you probably grew up eating, but maybe stopped giving much attention to. It's not exotic, it's not expensive, but it holds a kind of quiet strength that, when reintroduced at the right time, can awaken parts of you that felt like they were slipping away. I'm talking about lean red meat, particularly a well-prepared cut of beef. Now, before you scroll away thinking, "But I thought we were supposed to avoid red meat," let me share something you might not have heard. You see, lean beef, when chosen wisely and eaten in moderation, is one of the richest natural sources of the very nutrients your muscles need to rebuild. What sets it apart isn't just the protein content, though that alone is impressive. It's the presence of a specific building block called leucine. This little compound acts like a light switch. It tells your muscles it's time to grow. And as we age, our muscles become harder to convince. They stop responding as easily to the usual cues. That's where leucine steps in, giving the body the extra push it needs to say yes to strength again. And it's not just about the muscle itself. Lean beef also brings along something else: creatine. That's a natural substance most younger adults make on their own. But as we grow older, that internal supply dwindles. The result? Less power, less energy, less stamina. By getting a little bit of this compound through your diet, you give your body back the fuel it's been quietly running out of. Add to that a solid dose of iron, B vitamins, and zinc, all essential for moving oxygen through your bloodstream, fighting fatigue, and helping your muscles do their job. And suddenly that modest cut of meat becomes a powerhouse of recovery. Of course, the key is balance. We're not talking about giant steaks every night. We're talking about thoughtful, lean choices, like sirloin or tenderloin, just a few times a week. When paired with vegetables and prepared gently, it becomes a medicine of its own kind. One that supports rather than strains, that restores rather than takes away. Now, as powerful as meat can be, there's another ally that's even more concentrated, and it's hiding in plain sight in many kitchens. I'm talking about whey protein. Just a scoop of this dairy-based powder delivers a shot of fast-acting support straight to your muscles. And it's not just the quantity of protein that matters here, it's the speed. Whey digests quickly, rushing amino acids into your bloodstream, where they get to work rebuilding what age has quietly worn down. It's especially helpful if you've just done a bit of movement, whether it's a walk around the block or some gentle stretching. That small window after activity is when your body is most eager to repair and grow. And giving it the right nourishment during that time can make all the difference. Studies have shown that older adults who add whey protein into their routines, especially after movement, see improvements not just in muscle size, but in strength, balance, and energy. Even better, whey contains compounds that go beyond muscle. They support circulation, reduce low-grade inflammation, and even help your body process sugars more smoothly. Key factors in staying energized and mobile as you age. For those with sensitive stomachs or dairy concerns, there are gentler forms like hydrolyzed whey that are easier to digest. And blending it into a morning smoothie or a light shake before dinner can feel like a treat, not a chore. Still, not everyone wants to rely on powders. And that's perfectly okay, because nature has given us more than one solution. Let's turn now to the ocean. Fatty fish like salmon, mackerel, and sardines hold secrets that go far beyond brain health. These fish are rich in omega-3s, and while you may have heard that these oils are good for your heart, fewer people realize how crucial they are for muscle maintenance. Here's how it works. Omega-3s help lower inflammation in the body. And when inflammation stays high for too long, as it often does with age, it becomes harder for muscles to recover, harder to grow, and easier to lose. By regularly eating fatty fish, you're calming that fire, giving your muscles a better environment to thrive in. You're also giving your body high-quality, complete protein in a soft, digestible form that your aging gut can handle with ease. And let's not forget the vitamin D these fish provide. Many older adults don't get enough of it. And yet it plays a role in everything from balance to bone health to immunity. Just 2 servings of fatty fish a week can create a ripple effect, helping you move better, sleep better, and even think more clearly. If preparing fish is hard for you, or the smell keeps you away, consider high-quality fish oil supplements. But whenever possible, real food is best. Now, if fish or meat aren't your style, don't worry. The earth has its own gifts to offer. And one of the most underrated, a simple handful of nuts or seeds. Almonds, walnuts, pumpkin seeds, they may be small, but their impact is mighty. They bring together plant-based protein, healthy fats, and a cocktail of vitamins that support every corner of your muscular system. One of their secret weapons is magnesium, a mineral that helps your muscles contract, helps your body produce energy, and even calms cramping. Seniors often don't get enough of it, and when that happens, strength fades faster than expected. Walnuts, in particular, carry plant-based omega-3s that gently soothe the body's inflammation. And pumpkin seeds? They're rich in zinc, which helps your body keep its hormones in balance, including the ones responsible for building and preserving muscle. You might be wondering how to add them in without overdoing it. Just a small handful a day, maybe as a snack between meals or sprinkled over your oatmeal or yogurt, can go a long way. Choose unsalted versions to keep things heart-friendly, and remember that it's consistency that matters more than quantity. We've just touched the surface, but already the picture is forming. That feeling of weakness, that slow fading of strength, isn't something you have to accept. Your body is still capable of amazing repair. It just needs the right support. And every time you choose one of these foods, you're giving yourself a little more of that power back. So far, we've talked about the obvious ones: proteins, fish, nuts. But in the next part, we'll explore the foods that nourish your strength in surprising ways. Beans, leafy greens, yogurt, even berries. They don't just fuel your muscles. They protect them, support them, and help you recover even as the years pass. If you're still with me, I want to thank you again. It means you're committed, not just to living longer, but to living stronger. You're not just listening, you're preparing. And in a world where strength is freedom, that's a beautiful thing. It's time we talk about the foods that don't always get credit, yet they quietly do some of the most powerful work. They may not look impressive on your plate. They don't boast loud flavors or glamorous packaging. But what they do, deep inside your body, is nothing short of extraordinary. Let's start with something humble, hearty, and often overlooked: beans and legumes. For generations, beans have been called the poor man's meat, but that name misses the point. What they offer isn't just protein, it's long-lasting, stable energy and a kind of slow-release strength that your muscles depend on. Inside every spoonful of lentils, black beans, or chickpeas is a mix of plant-based protein and something called resistant starch. Now, don't let that term scare you. All it means is this: it feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which in turn supports your entire immune system, lowers inflammation, and helps your body absorb the nutrients it needs to keep muscle from slipping away. What's more, these little legumes carry important minerals, potassium, magnesium, iron, that many older adults don't get enough of. Without them, your muscles don't contract properly. You tire more easily. You might feel dizzy when you stand. But with just a few servings a week, things begin to shift. Energy improves, digestion gets better, and your muscles feel just a little more alive. If you're not used to eating beans, don't worry. You can start small. Add some to a soup, mix a few spoonfuls into a salad, or blend them into a spread with olive oil and garlic. If dried beans feel like too much work, canned ones are just fine. Just look for low-sodium options and give them a good rinse. Anymore. It's the habit that counts, not the perfection. Next up is a food group that's even simpler. Eggs. We've heard so many mixed messages about eggs over the years. Good for you, bad for your heart, good again. Who knows what to believe anymore? But here's what the most recent research is showing. When it comes to preserving muscle in older adults, eggs are one of nature's most complete packages. Why? Because the protein in eggs is high quality, easy to digest, and perfectly balanced with what your body needs. One large egg gives you a full range of amino acids, especially leucine, that muscle-sparking nutrient we talked about earlier. But there's more to it than the whites. The yolk carries crucial nutrients too: vitamin D, healthy fats, and antioxidants that help protect your cells from aging. Many people skip the yolks, worried about cholesterol. But most studies today suggest that moderate egg intake, up to 1 a day, is safe for the vast majority of people. And in fact, it may even help balance your cholesterol by increasing the good kind while lowering the bad. For someone looking to stay strong and independent, an egg or two at breakfast could be one of the simplest, most effective changes you make. They're also incredibly practical. Hard-boiled eggs can be prepared ahead of time, stored in the fridge, and eaten whenever you need a boost. They don't require strength to cook or special appliances or time you don't have. Just crack, cook, and enjoy. But as powerful as these protein-rich foods are, there's another type of food that doesn't build muscle directly, yet makes everything else work better. I'm talking about olive oil, specifically extra virgin olive oil. You might wonder how oil helps your muscles. But when you look beneath the surface, you'll see why it matters so much. As we age, inflammation becomes one of the biggest silent threats to muscle health. It slowly damages the tissue, interferes with recovery, and makes us more vulnerable to injury. Olive oil is rich in compounds that calm that inflammation. One in particular, called oleocanthal, acts almost like a natural version of ibuprofen, without the side effects and with added benefits. Olive oil also improves the way your body handles insulin, which helps your muscles absorb and use protein more efficiently. That means the same meal becomes more effective at feeding your strength. And the healthy fats in olive oil support hormone production, like testosterone and growth hormone, that naturally decline with age but play a huge role in preserving muscle mass. Adding olive oil to your day doesn't require big changes. Drizzle it over cooked veggies. Use it as salad dressing. Or stir a spoonful into warm soup before serving. Just keep it away from high heat, which can break down its benefits, and store it in a cool, dark place to keep it fresh. This isn't about trendy cooking, it's about long-term strength. Now let's move to something colorful, sweet, almost like a treat. And yet hiding within its juicy flesh are tiny compounds that guard your muscles like sentinels. I'm talking about berries, blueberries, strawberries, blackberries, raspberries. And these little fruits are rich in antioxidants, especially anthocyanins, which help protect your muscle cells from the wear and tear of aging. You see, muscle doesn't just weaken because we don't use it. It also weakens because its cells get damaged over time, from stress, from pollutants, from natural internal processes. Antioxidants are like a cleanup crew. They sweep away the harmful elements that cause cells to age too fast. And berries, pound for pound, are some of the most powerful antioxidants out there. But they don't just protect. They also help your muscles recover after use. Some studies have shown that eating blueberries before or after physical activity can reduce soreness, improve performance, and support faster healing. That's incredible news for anyone who wants to stay active without paying the price of stiff joints and tired limbs the next day. Berries are easy to add to your day. Toss them into yogurt, oatmeal, or smoothies. Eat a handful after dinner instead of sugary desserts. Keep a bag of frozen ones in the freezer so you always have some on hand. They're small, but mighty. And finally, let's look at the foundation of many healthy meals: greens. I know they don't get people excited. Spinach, kale, Swiss chard. They're not exactly thrilling, but for older adults, they may be more important than ever. Because greens are packed with nutrients that directly support muscle strength, especially when it comes to blood flow. These vegetables are high in natural nitrates, which your body turns into nitric oxide. That's a compound that helps your blood vessels relax and open up, letting more oxygen and nutrients reach your muscles when they need it most. Better blood flow means better energy, better recovery, and more stamina for everyday life. They're also rich in magnesium, potassium, calcium, minerals that keep your muscles from cramping, help them contract properly, and reduce the risk of injury. Not to mention vitamin K, which is now being recognized for its role in protein metabolism and muscle health. Just a couple cups a day, whether raw in salads, sautéed with garlic, or blended into soups, can support your strength in quiet, powerful ways. The beauty of all these foods is that they don't require perfection. You don't have to change everything overnight. Just start where you are. One new food this week, one habit you can stick to, and over time you'll notice something beautiful: less struggle to stand, more confidence walking, a sense of vitality returning. Because this isn't about chasing youth, it's about reclaiming the energy and strength that still lives in you. It never truly left. It just needed the right invitation to come back. Let's pause for a moment, not just to reflect on the foods we've covered, but on what they really represent. Because this isn't just about nutrients or diets or health plans. It's about dignity. It's about choice. It's about the quiet but powerful truth that aging doesn't mean fading. It means evolving. And the way we eat, the way we care for ourselves, is how we show the world and ourselves that we're still here, still strong, still writing our own story. Every single food we've talked about, whether it's a spoonful of yogurt before bed, a splash of olive oil on your vegetables, a soft piece of fish on a Sunday afternoon, they all carry something deeper than protein or vitamins. They carry a message. I still value this body. I still believe in its ability to heal. I'm not giving up. And that belief, that small, quiet decision to nourish rather than neglect, is what changes everything. You see, losing muscle in your senior years isn't just a medical issue. It's emotional. It's personal. It's tied to your independence, your confidence, your sense of identity, the ability to get up without help, to carry a bag of groceries, to walk down the hallway without fear. These aren't luxuries, they're freedoms. And the road to protecting those freedoms begins with the food on your fork. But I know it's not always easy. Some days cooking feels like a chore. Appetite isn't what it used to be. You might be living alone, or grieving a partner who once shared the kitchen with you. Food for many older adults becomes quiet, practical, and even lonely. And that's okay. That's real. But that's also why this message matters. Because the very act of choosing nourishing food, especially when it feels like no one else is looking, is an act of self-respect. It's a way of saying, I still matter. My strength still matters. And you're not alone. Fine. More and more people in their 60s, 70s, 80s, and even 90s are discovering that it's not too late. Not too late to feel strong again. Not too late to reverse the slow slide that so many assumed was just normal aging. Because here's the truth. What we call normal is often just what's common. And just because something is common doesn't mean it's inevitable. Muscle doesn't just vanish. It responds. It listens. It adapts. And with the right support, it can come back. Maybe not like it did at 25, but more than enough to restore your freedom, your balance, your spark. Let me tell you about Margaret. She's 78, a retired librarian, soft-spoken, kind, and fiercely independent. For years, she prided herself on being able to do everything herself. But around the age of 74, she started struggling. Walking became tiring. Her legs felt weaker. One afternoon, she fell while reaching for something in her pantry. It shook her, not just physically, but emotionally. That was the moment she realized something was changing. But Margaret didn't give in. She didn't resign herself to the decline. She started small. A friend told her about the importance of protein, so she added a couple of eggs to her morning toast. She began eating salmon twice a week. She bought a tub of plain Greek yogurt and started blending it with berries. Within weeks, she felt steadier, stronger, a little more like herself again. Months passed. Margaret didn't become a bodybuilder, but she stopped falling. She started gardening again. She took longer walks. She smiled more, not because of some grand transformation, but because she felt in control again. Her muscles weren't disappearing. They were responding. And that's what I want you to remember. This isn't about chasing youth. It's about defending vitality. The kind of vitality that lets you get up and dance at your granddaughter's wedding. That lets you open your own jars. That lets you walk without worrying what's going to give out next. The foods we've talked about, lean meats, whey protein, fatty fish, nuts, legumes, greens, berries, yogurt, they're not magic. They're reminders. Reminders that your body is still trying, still working, still worthy of nourishment. When you give it the right support, it will thank you. Maybe not overnight, but day by day, meal by meal, you'll feel it. So if you've been watching this video and thinking, that sounds good, but I don't know where to start, here's the answer. Just pick one thing, one small change. Maybe it's adding spinach to your eggs. Maybe it's replacing that sugary snack with a bowl of berries. Maybe it's blending a protein smoothie after your evening walk. Just one step, and then another. The momentum will build, and so will your strength. And if you've already started, keep going. You're doing something most people ignore until it's too late. You're choosing to fight for your independence before it slips away. That's powerful. That's courageous. Now, before we wrap up, I want to leave you with something simple but important. Your strength isn't gone. It's waiting for you to reach out and reclaim it. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to eat every food we mentioned. You just need to begin. The body you live in is still alive with potential. And every bite you take is a way of saying, I still believe in me. If this video spoke to you, if it reminded you of someone you love, someone who needs to hear that their strength isn't lost, it would mean so much if you shared this message with them. A neighbor, a friend, a parent, a spouse. Because so many people are silently struggling, and just a little bit of knowledge, a little bit of encouragement could change someone's entire story. And now I'd love to hear from you. Parnishani, which of these foods do you already eat? Have you noticed a difference in your strength, your balance, your energy? Leave a comment below. Let's turn this into a place where wisdom is shared, where we learn from each other, where we remind one another that even as we age, we're still growing, still capable of choosing better, of feeling better, of living well. Thank you for spending this time with me. I hope it gave you not just information, but inspiration, because you deserve both. Stay strong, stay kind to yourself, and never stop choosing life one meal at a time.